Rarely would you come across those days when you talk about something which you are really proud about. Hi everyone, myself Professor Saptarshi Shankar Chakravarti. I'm an architect, author, entrepreneur, Southeast Asia. I had been practicing and preaching as an architect for the past 2 decades across India and abroad. With my hands-on experience in designing and building numerous projects, I've gained some real-life insight which many of you guys know I keep sharing with my students of architecture out there. Well, today let's discuss something called EBD or evidence-based design. What is EBD? Evidence-based design is the process of constructing a building or physical environment based on scientific research to achieve the best possible outcomes. It is particularly important in the field of architecture, interior design, landscape design, facilities management, education, city planning, and so on. For us architects, creating the buildings of tomorrow is an immense responsibility. Today, our schools, hospitals, and living spaces are supposed to provide optimal conditions that support health and productivity. But how can architects meet increasing demands while delivering environments for high-performing individuals and the overarching concern of human health and comfort? That's where EBD comes into play. I've talked about EBD throughout my blogs and chapters. Go back to my page and check it out sometime. Go back to my book called Think Beyond Architecture. There's a whole new chapter which is talking about just EBD. Go check my book out, yeah? If you ask me, why is evidence-based designing so important in our modern lives? Evidence-based design, which implements modern research results on the well-being, effects on humans, into the creation of space, should be at the heart of your architecture. Design not only for yourself, not for your fancy, design for the well-being of the people, because architecture be for everyone. Go back to my YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed already, click subscribe, click the bell icon. You will be getting all the notifications and any updates that I post. You have an obligation to look at ideas and long-term effects for the users when creating tomorrow's buildings. For instance, what elements in architectural approach that you have improve learning in our buildings and keep us healthier in life. Today, evidence-based design is gaining ground as the use of scientific evidence is turning into a powerful tool for architects across the globe. If applied at large scale, evidence-based design in architecture can unlock a huge potential for societies in terms of increasing productivity and reduced health costs. A study done in France sometime just before the pandemic, involving around 2,000 and odd people across Europe, found that students in the classroom with larger windows, openness to the air, openness to the nature and the natural beauty, a higher percentage of students facing something that was outdoors, the people who could see outside, and adequate daylight was able to come inside, performed better mathematical and logical tests. Students of architecture can take a note of this. There are basically 4 components to evidence-based designing. Number 1 is gather, number 2 is map, number 3 is hypothesize, and number 4 is measure. Gather is about qualitative and quantitative, intelligent data analysis. Mapping is about the strategic, cultural, and research goals. Hypothesizing is about the outcomes to innovate and implement those transitional designs. Measure and share outcome is the final of it. Architects have the responsibility in translation of research in the field and its application in informed design decisions. The conceptual model which architects could use, has like 4 levels of addressing research and methods based on various levels of commitment. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3 and Level 4 are: Level 1 is about informed design decisions based on available literature on environmental research, based on applicability such as the use of state-of-the-art technology and strategies based on the physical setting of the project. Level 2 is about design decisions based on predictive performance and measurable outcomes. Level 3 is about results reported publicly with the objective of moving information on the methods and results moving information beyond the design team. Next is the peer review, which makes the process more robust, as it could include varying perspectives from those who may or may not agree with your findings. And that's very, very important, Finally, the level 4 talks about publishing the findings. I have published my book, I have published my articles, so entire level of findings that I had gathered in the last 2 decades are there out for you, completely free of charge, in my blogs, in my pages, in my social media, in my YouTube channels. Go and check it out sometime. And if you want to buy my book and check it out, it's available on Amazon, globally released on 15th of August 2020 was the release of this particular book. Go check it out sometime. publishing the findings is important in peer-reviewed journals and many other places. Collaborating with academicians and academics and social scientists and students and everywhere out there is important as well. So having said all of that, I strongly believe that wherever you are and whoever you are, you have the commitment and you'll always be a student constantly learning because there is a lot to learn. Let's start discussing your thoughts, your views, your comments. Write in that particular box below what you feel about this particular topic. I'll get back to you. See you.